Optimism's survival strategy begins by eschewing technical isolationism in favor of distributing the OP, Stack an open-source design tool that anyone can use to secure a powerful network of allies. By early 2026, the Optimism Superchain has exerted overwhelming dominance, capturing a 58.6% share of the Layer 2 market. This is not due to technical superiority alone, but is supported by a unique philosophy, such as the retroactive public goods funding system, which reinvests profits generated by ecosystem members back into public goods. Optimism's most powerful weapon is the standardized design blueprint, known as the OP stack. Anyone can use this blueprint to quickly and easily build their own specialized blockchain, and all chains created this way share Optimism's security standards and operating methods. On February 12, 2026, Optimism announced a strategic partnership with Succinct Labs, a zero-knowledge ZK proof infrastructure provider, achieving a technical leap called OP Succinct. This technology uses mathematical verification to reduce the 7-day withdrawal waiting period, a chronic weakness of existing optimistic rollups, to just a few minutes, proving highly attractive to institutional investors and high-frequency traders. The introduction of ZK proofs signifies a fundamental shift in the security model by moving from a method that assumes transactions are valid and verifies them post facto to one that instantly proves legitimacy mathematically. The reliability of the entire superchain has soared. The effectiveness of Optimism is proven by the caliber of partners adopting it. Base, launched by Coinbase, is experiencing explosive growth in the 2026 Layer 2 market, recording $4.87 billion in total value locked TVL. Additionally, Sony Group's Sonium adopted Optimism, technology targeting the Web3 entertainment and gaming markets. And Kraken's Inc. chain joined the ranks to bring financial services on-chain. Uniswap's Unichain and WorldCoin's WorldChain are also expanding their respective domains as core members of the Optimism Superchain. This expansion into enterprise blockchain is leading to real-life use cases as of February 2026. The Optimism Superchain processes over 20.9 million transactions daily, thanks to fees that are more than 95% cheaper than the Ethereum mainnet. Micropayments, social media, and NFT transactions are flourishing. Optimism's value creation reached a major turning point in February 2026. Optimism Governance approved a buyback program that uses 50% of the revenue generated by the Superchain each month to purchase OP tokens from the market. Over the past year, Superchain sequencers earned approximately 5,168 ETH, which is expected to generate annual buying pressure of $8 million to $9 million at current values. This was a decisive moment in transforming the OP token from a simple governance voting right into a value-accruing asset directly linked to network growth. However, investors must also consider supply-side pressure. On February 28, 2026, 32.1 million OP tokens, worth approximately $6.01 million, are scheduled to be unlocked, representing 1.521% of the circulating supply. The current circulating supply is approximately 2.11 billion tokens, which is about 49.31% of the total issuance. From a mid to long-term perspective, Optimism is executing a precise roadmap toward 2030. The post-quantum roadmap announced in January 2026 outlines a massive plan to replace existing cryptographic systems with quantum-resistant cryptography. Over the next decade, by January 2036, accounts based on the existing ECDSA digital signature method will be phased out, and users are being encouraged to transition to smart contract accounts via account abstraction to protect assets from quantum computing threats. Furthermore, between 2027 and 2028, interoperability between superchains is expected to be maximized, reaching a maturity stage where multiple chains operate as if they were a single computer. Analytical firms like Messari predict that if superchain integration is successful, Optimism's TVL could increase by 40% to 60% within 2026. The real-world asset RWA sector is also a key driver of Optimism's growth. In 2026, the on-chain RWA market has surpassed $30 billion, with tangible assets such as U.S. treasuries, money market funds, and real estate being tokenized and traded on Optimism's low-cost infrastructure. Large financial institutions like BlackRock have praised blockchain technology as the greatest financial innovation since double-entry bookkeeping, and the influx of institutional capital presents a massive opportunity for Optimism. Through OP Enterprise, a dedicated infrastructure package for corporations, Optimism is leading the on-chaining of institutional-grade assets by helping financial firms build their own regulatory-compliant blockchains in just 8 to 12 weeks. Optimism's current state in 2026 is summarized by staggering figures: an average daily transaction volume of 20.9 million and a total Superchain TVL of $6.3 billion. In particular, the scalability of the OP stack, which occupies 58.6% of the Layer 2 market, is solidifying its position as the ecosystem standard, while threatening Arbitrum's 41% share. Having processed 3.6 billion transactions in the second half of 2025, alone a 44% growth rate in 6 months. Optimism has moved beyond simple growth to a stage of consolidating dominance. All this data eloquently speaks to the fact that Optimism is not a mere fad, but has established itself as a fundamental pillar of blockchain infrastructure. The implementation of a technical roadmap that remains steady, despite market volatility and a buyback program to enhance economic value, are the best proofs of why Optimism is a survivalist innovator. A deeper look into Optimism's value creation structure reveals the disruptive power of converting sequencer revenue into buybacks. Over the past 12 months, the Optimism Superchain recorded total revenue of 5,868 ETH, worth approximately 18 million at the time. Half of this, 2,134 ETH, is used to buy back OP tokens from the market, creating a consistent monthly buying demand of over $660,000. While the buyback size may seem small compared to Optimism's current market capitalization, this figure is structured to increase exponentially as more chains join the Superchain. Notably, as long as sequencer revenue does not drop below $200,000 per month, the buybacks will continue, serving as a long-term floor for the token's value. The retroactive public goods funding RetroPGF program, which serves as the backbone of the ecosystem, is also a core element supporting Optimism's survival. By 2025, Optimism distributed over $100 million in OP tokens to developers through 4 funding rounds and has secured $1.3 billion in assets as a reserve for future rounds. This financial power acts as a powerful magnet, drawing talented developers to Optimism instead of other ecosystems. In the Season 7 rewards held in February 2025, 208 active developers were recognized and rewarded for their contributions through 305 software packages, providing the soil for continuous technical innovation. However, from an investment strategy perspective, supply pressure from the unlock schedule cannot be ignored. While 49.31% of the total supply is already in circulation, nearly half remains to be released sequentially over the coming years. In particular, the unlock of 32.21 million tokens scheduled for February 28, 2026, involving initial contributors and investors, could cause a temporary supply shock to the market. Therefore, it is important to closely monitor the dynamics between demand creation via buybacks and supply expansion via unlocks. Currently, while buybacks generate approximately $8 million in annual demand, the value of monthly unlocks often exceeds this, making it reasonable to expect a period of bottom building as supply is absorbed, rather than short-term price surges. In conclusion, Optimism has shifted the nature of Layer 2 competition toward a battle for ecosystem dominance through the combination of technical maturity and economic modeling. As of February 2026, Optimism's price is consolidating at levels lower than its previous all-time high. But the Relative Strength Index, RSI, a technical indicator, is recording between 27 and 34, the oversold zone, suggesting the possibility of a technical rebound. Experts evaluate that Optimism is likely to settle as the standard operating system for the Web3 world, moving beyond just a Layer 2 coin. If a seamless superchain environment is completed to the point where users do not even realize which chain they are using, Optimism will become a massive vacuum cleaner, efficiently absorbing the value of the Ethereum ecosystem. This analysis report has comprehensively covered Optimism's technology, ecosystem, expansion, and risk factors, and we hope it will assist in your insightful decision-making. The growth of Optimism is the success of Ethereum, and the success of Ethereum means the victory of the on-chain economy. The records of innovation shown by Optimism in this great flow will serve as an example for the blockchain community for a long time. By 2030, the Optimism Superchain is likely to establish itself as a core settlement layer of the global financial system, processing between 200 billion and 400 billion in annual transaction volume. Users will soon enter an era where they no longer worry about which chain to use, but freely manage their assets on the seamless network built by Optimism.